Hi guys, welcome back to Python based data science series. In today's session, we'll be discussing about how we can construct a GUI using radio buttons. As we know, radio button plays a very vital role in the GUI construction. For example, if you want to select the gender of a person, then you will have a radio button. Either or, select your gender, male or female. Means if you want to accept either or option, any one option from the list, then you have to go with the radio button. If you have the choices of languages, and from that user has to select any one at a time, then you have to go with the radio button. Let us discuss this by coding reference. Here is my first example. Up till now we come to know how we can construct a GUI. So I import tkinter as tk, root equals to tk.tk, v equals to, I just declared a variable as a v, which is integer type of variable. Int var means it will accept integer data. It will become an integer type of variable. V dot set 0. I'll help you out. Now initially it is the choice by default will be 0. Then I make a list of languages. Python having the value 1 means like I make a list in such a manner. There I got the data and value sort of pair. So Python 1, Perl 2, Java 3, C++ 4 and C 5. I make a list in such a manner. Whenever user select Python, the value will be processed, that is 1, Perl 2, Java 3 likewise. So this is the list I had created. Now I define a function called as show choice. Now this show choice function is going to process when I select particular language. We'll discuss it later on. Then I am having a label which will prompt the user to choose your favorite programming language, and having justification left, right? And then pad x equals to 20, and we add it. Here for val comma language in enumerated languages, now there is a list of the languages. So here you got a value and the language. Value and the language, there are two variables are there from these languages. We set the radio button. Now radio button variable having is v. We set it as a integer variable over here. Then command on that radio button in Python, radio button is a class which we are using for setting a radio button. Command equal to show choice, value goes as a val. Okay, this is the value 1, 2 and all, and in this manner that text become the language. Means what will appear as a language name, Python. What the value it will process, this value 1. If you select Python, it will goes to 1 likewise. So in this manner, by setting a loop, okay, we can form the radio buttons, and whenever you hit on any radio button, whenever you select or unselect any radio button, the show choice function gets a call, and then there we are, which radio button we selected, that value we are printing. We are printing it on the, we make a selection variable, selection equal to use selected options, that v dot get. Initially v is set to the 0, and when you select any radio button, okay, it's what radio button you selected, that will be printed onto the label. Let us firstly go for the execution. Here it is. I'm having list of all the radio buttons. By default v set to 0, so Python is selected. If you select any other language, like let's say if you select C++, so I'll get the prompted message, you selected the option 3, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. If you select Python, you selected the option 0. Means later on, means we successfully able to make a list of radio buttons. At the same time, we can able to process the events of radio button as well. Let us discuss the code again. What we did, the first thing, that is, we declare a p as a integer type of variable into var. We set it to the 0 default value. Then we have a list of languages. While making the list of the languages, we make it a language and its value, right? So data and its value pair sort of. So we make a set in such a manner. Python have a values 1, Perl 2. Likewise, we make a list of all the languages. After that, we define a show choice function, which is going to process whenever you select any radio button. That show choice function is going to get a call, and then it will process which radio button is selected. That will be prompted to the user. And then I'm having a label, and then from that list, I'm extracting val and language, and val I am initializing to the value of radio button and text as a language. So in the list of the radio buttons, it will form a radio button like this, and it will appear a text Python, and this is all Perl, Java and all. And when you select that particular things and value equals to that value, whenever you select any radio button, it's a button, so event will be processed, and what value is selected, that will be appearable. So this example gives you an idea how we can form a set of radio buttons, and when you select any specific, how to process the event of the radio button. Let us discuss by another example. In this example, let us firstly have a GUI of it. Here again, define selection is a function which is going to process the event on the radio button. Here var.get means variable is there which will get the value. So variable is again integer type of variable. We form the radio button with the text option 1 and the value 1. Means radio, whenever the event is processed on the radio button 1, the text will be appear as option 1, but the value will be processed, that is 1. And the variable to which it get assigned the value, that is var. That is var type of variable, and var is integer type of variable. So in this manner, R1, R2 and R3. These 3 radio buttons we form with the text option 1, option 2 and option 3, having values 1, 2, 3 respectively. And whenever we process the event, right, whenever we select radio button, the select cell function is going to get a call, and then it will display the message which value, which radio buttons you selected to process further, right? So let us run this. Here it is. Now I am having option 1, option 2, option 3. No option is by default selected. If I select option 2, it will say you selected option 2. If you select option 1 and option 3, it will prompt me the message. Means I'm having a list of radio buttons by the text option 1, option 2 and option 3. Internal values will be binded, that is 1, 2, 3 respectively. Whenever I process an event, right, whenever I process an event, then that actually that all the that var variable will get the value, okay, of that radio button. And whenever I process the event on the radio button, that var variable, whatever the value it is having assigned, whether it's a 1, 2 or 3, that will be processed, right? So this is the way how, again, by example second, we understand how we can make a list of radio buttons and how we can process the event. Let us discuss with example 3. Now, up till now, we declare a var of an integer type, but can we assign the string value as well? So here in this case, I set up a window with a geometry of 500, 300. Var is string type of variable, means that value will get assigned, that is a string type of value, not integer value, right? Sometimes we need to process that, like if you select the male or female, so obviously you may need to data to be further processed on the selection of the radio button, that will be the male or female, right? So where is string type of variable. Label is empty initially, and then print selection, that label that you selected, whatever the data you select over here. So print selection is a function which is going to process the event on the radio button. Now I'm having the radio button with the option A, variable which get assigned the value, that is var, and value will be processed, that is A, right? So if you have a radio button like select your gender, and here you got the option male, so value will be again the male. So in this manner, I'm having a radio button R1, R2 and R3. Here the difference is the what value we are assigning to the var, that is of string type of data, right? So let us test this. Here it is. Now if you select any option, okay, you select option C. Earlier it was selecting you select 1, 2, just like we are going to assign the numeric values. Here we are going to assign the string value. So again, the example is what we need to do. We need to declare and initialize the radio buttons with the options and the values. You should have a variable which will hold that process value, which radio button is selected, and then you should have a function which is processing that event on the radio button, right? Okay, now let's go for the applications of radio button. Here up till now what we discussed, how we make a set of radio buttons, how we can combine the data and the values, and then how we can process it. Now by using this all the things, how we can generate the simple application, GUI applications using radio button. Now let us understand, if you have an assignment, like you create a radio buttons of the colors, and on the selection of any radio button, the entire Windows background color needs to be changed as per the selections. Like if you got a red as a radio button, if you select the red, the Windows background color has to be changed to red. If you select the green, it has to be green or yellow respectively. Let us check this out. So here I imported, I'm having a window with the geometry 500 and 300. I'm having a label, okay, by prompting the message choose the color. Now here I define the color code. Color 1 equals to red, color 2 equals to blue, and color 3 equals to color 1, color 2, color 3. These are the variables which is get assigned the values red, blue and yellow. Now here is the radio call. Radio call is the function which is going to process the event on the button, radio button. Now radio var dot get, its value will be get and assigned to radio cell. Now radio cell is a variable. If it is assigned to 1, means obviously win.configure background equals to color 1. Means if the value if the radio button 1 is selected, win.configure, to change the background color of the windows, we have win.configure background equals to color 1. If the radio cell values, means the second radio button if you select, then its background color will be blue, otherwise it will be, if it is 3, then it will be yellow. So this radio call function will get the value of the radio button, which radio button is selected, and as per that the background color of the windows is going to change. Now radio var equals to tk.in is an integer type of value over here. Then radio 1 having text as a color 1 had the value red, so it will appear red. Variable equals to radio var is going to assign the value, and the value equals to 1. Means whenever you select radio button 1, the text on the radio button is red and the value it will be processed, that is 1, and the function which is going to process that event, that is called the radio call, right? In this manner, radio button 1, radio button 2 and radio button 3 is formed. So now if I select any radio button, okay, the event will be fired. It will get that value, what value, whether I select 1, 2 or 3. If it is select 1, the color will be red, Okay, if I select 2, the color will be blue, and if I select 3, the color will be yellow. Let us check it out. So here, these are the 3 radio buttons. If I select yellow, the background color will be of the windows will change to yellow. If I select blue, it's a blue, and if I select red, it will become a red. So here in this case, how we did it again? Okay, we define the 3 color codes. Color 1 equal to red, color 2 equal to blue, and color 3 equals to yellow. Then we have a 3 radio buttons with the text as a color 1, variable which is going to assign the value of radio button, that is radio var, which is the integer type of value, and value is 1 to every radio button. We assign the value 1, 2, or 3. In this manner, we declare and initialize the radio buttons and the function to process, that is the radio call. So whenever you select any radio button, the call goes to the radio call. Radio call will firstly get the value of radio var. Now this radio var value means every radio button have the value 1, 2, and 3. So if radio var is get the value 1, it means the first radio button is selected having, and then background color will be color 1, that is red. If you select the 2, then background color will be blue. Otherwise, if you select 3, the background color will be 3. So in this manner, we can declare initialize radio buttons. We can process the data of the radio button, and we can change the background color of the windows. Let us go for the execution again. You understand what is the use of this application of the radio button. You can select any one value at a time: blue, red, yellow. Now you can, I'm just like giving an example where and how we can use radio buttons. In GUI, as I said, okay, if you have a GUI want to construct, select your gender, okay, male or female. So there are 2 radio buttons with a value male as well as text as a male, and value as a female, and the text as a female. So it will appear, select your gender, male or female. So what you have to do, you have to initialize 2 radio buttons with the text male, value male, text female, value female, and you have to declare a variable var equal to string var, and then you have to define a function. Once you select the event, okay, you have to get that value, and then get that value and print it or further process it. So if you select male, male has to be appear. If you select female, female has to appear. If you assign the value 1 or 0, then you have to declare the variable of integer type, and once you select the radio button, that value will be initialized. Whether you select the option 1, means like while assigning data to the radio button, the text means what is appear, and the value means what internally value has to be processed. Radio buttons can be of like a value can be in integer or the string, depends on the requirement of the developer over that. So these examples will give you the idea how we can construct the set of the radio buttons and process the event on it. Hope you enjoy these sessions. Thank you.